massive political development in Jamaica. I've been talking about it, expecting to tune into the Senate sitting for today and to see Peter Murcott Bunting take the 8th seat in the Senate this morning. Unknown to me, there was a condition precedent to that happening, which did not take place. Mr. Peter Murcott Bunting could not be sworn in and therefore could not take up his position in the Senate, as it appears that Norman Horne, who was named by former president of the PNP, former leader of the opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, to take up that position, and who had indicated in a letter that he would hold off on it to give the new president a chance to choose the senator he desired. It appears that Norman Horne wanted the party to make a monetary payment to him because of monies he says are owed to him by the party before he could write to the Governor General and to say to the Governor General he's not taking up that empty seat. So I have now seen what purports to be correspondence from Norman Horne to Julian Robinson, sent on the 7th of October 2020, in which Norman Horne, CDJP, Arc Manufacturing Limited, seem to have penned these words. Dear Julian, hope you are well. As per our agreement regarding the deduction of sums from 19.38 million owed to me by the party, below please find an accounting of deductions which should have been made as at today's date. And this is the 7th of October. 1. The sum of $6,000 for my direct membership for the year 2020 to 2021. 2. The sum of $60,000 for prepaid direct membership dues for the years 2022 to 2032. So he's paying 10 years in advance. So these dues won't change. 3, I suppose when they do change, he will top up the difference. The sum of $1 million from which was pledged by me to the party at the 2017 conference. 4, the sum of $149,760 for group dues as per the email correspondence sent to you on Thursday, October 1, 2020. And 5, the sum of $486,894 for group dues as per the email correspondence sent to you on October 2, 2020. 6 is a crucial clause here. The further sum of approximately $7,677,346 to be deducted from the current balance as a personal contribution to the party from me, thereby leaving a balance owing of $10 million. Kindly confirm in writing that all the above have been actioned. So, this was the 7th of October. Norman Horne wrote to the then General Secretary of the PNP to say, the party owes me $19.38 million. Here are 6 sums that should be deducted from this amount, and I therefore crave a difference of $10 million which should have been actioned up to the 7th of October. It appears that this $10 million in the accounting of Norman Horne, it wasn't done. However, on the 10th of October 2020, Mr. Norman Horne issued this statement. In the spirit of the Constitution of Jamaica, it is my fundamental belief that the right to appoint opposition senators should reside solely with the Governor General, acting on the advice of the leader of the opposition. Correspondingly, where an opposition leader resigns and another is elected, I believe that the new leader should be free to exercise his or her constitutional rights in executing the mandates of the leader of the opposition. Following recent travel necessitated by my back-to-school obligations to my children overseas and the required quarantine period, my swearing in as a senator was delayed. At this juncture, swearing in on Friday, October 16 as intended would be in great contradiction with my convictions, as I would be resigning from the Senate on November 6, 2020, to allow the new leader of the PNP to appoint senators of his or her choice. I will therefore be communicating to the Governor General and the leader of the opposition my desire not to be sworn in at this time, mere 6 weeks from November 6. I thank Dr. Phillips, the outgoing leader of the opposition, for the confidence reposed in me. I stand ready, willing, and able to serve my country and party. So on the 10th of October 2020, Norman Horne issued this press release committing to communicating with the GG and the leader of the opposition his desire not to be sworn in at this time, because he thought if he was sworn in on the 16th of October, he would, in what he thinks is the spirit of the Constitution, he would need to resign to allow the new president, who was selected on the 7th of November, to appoint the opposition slate. But no communication, it appears, was sent to the Governor General. I do not know if any communication was sent to the leader of the opposition as he committed to doing. I do not know if the former leader of the opposition requested it. So, when Peter Murcott Bunting was named to take up this so-called vacant slot, it appears that Norman Horne was holding out on his pound of flesh, his $10 million from the party, perhaps before writing to the Governor General. And so you've got an awful and messy affair where Peter Bunting was to be sworn in and couldn't be sworn in, was not sworn in at all, could not take up the position in the Senate, because for all intents and purposes, the Governor General was advised by the previous leader of the opposition that that position belongs to Norman Horne. This is a massive cock-up. This is really absolutely crazy. I would love to hear from the present leader of the opposition and perhaps the former leader as to how this could have happened. So in essence, he's holding the party at ransom, or saying, if you've got my $10 million, you should have actioned it from the 7th of October, and that you haven't actioned it. I have not yet written to the Governor General, so the seat cannot be filled. What a drama. So this comes when the current leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, you have to step up, man. Because you wrote, you sent this out to say, I have advised the Governor General to appoint Mr. Peter Bunting as a senator to take effect tomorrow, Wednesday, December 3. Please be advised that effective tomorrow, December 3, 2020, Mr. Bunting will assume the role of leader of the opposition business in the Senate. But Mr. Horne says will not. But Horne is a leader, yeah. This is a massive political cock-up. Let me go to a break, Mr. Mark Golding. Mr. Bunting is out and stunting again. For the second time since the 3rd of September, we want to understand this better, Mr. Horne. I'd love to talk to you. This is a hotline. Let me take a break. You cannot write these stories. There is a massive political development. The planned swearing in of Peter Bunting as 8th opposition senator, which from all accounts now by the press release from the communication from the present opposition leader Mark Golding, Mr. Bunting should have been a senator as at yesterday's date, the 3rd of December. That did not happen. We're trying to reach Julian Robinson as well, because that 7th of October correspondence that I read to you was sent to him, where Mr. Horne seemed to have been making it a condition precedent to him writing to the Governor General that he's to be paid by the party $10 million, which he said are owed to him. I understand that the President of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finson, when he was questioned by media this morning on this vacant Senate seat, he said, I was informed by the clerk of the House this morning that the relevant writ from the Governor General, which would have facilitated the swearing in of Mr. Bunting, had not been received by the Parliament. On further inquiries, I was informed that the writ directing us to swear in Mr. Norman Horne to the Senate was received by the clerk and remains current as of today, the 4th of December 2020. So the fly in the ointment at the moment is Norman Horne. His writ remains with the Senate. And so Peter Bunting and his ascension to the upper chamber of Parliament is delayed. We want some clarity. This is very untidy. Dr. Phillips, you ought to have rectified this before you left. The man committed to writing to you and to the GG, you made the appointment. You should have ensured that he communicated to the Governor General and to you. Not only intention, it should have been action. How could a big party like this institution being held for $10 million? 10 million? As Mr. Peters Gill would say, that is chicken feed. I wonder where Liz is. Miss Liz is here still? Liz? What an untidy affair.